So welcome to Talking 360. I'm Tony Scott. That is Lena Johnson to my, to my left. And she is a international trainer who teaches leadership and communication and skills to people around the world. She has been everywhere from the rooter to the tutor. And I mean that globally. Okay.
She's that didn't sound good.
I know. But I didn't mean it that way. She has also authored 5 books, and she's published over almost 20 books, actually, through her company, Mission Possible Press. And we're getting you into writing your book, getting you ready to write your book. And this is part 3, like I said, in our series. This series is what to do. This episode is what to do when you think you are finished writing in 5 steps. Jolena, first of all, how are you?
I'm so good. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So here we are in part 3 in our series, what to do when you think you are finished writing in 5 steps. What are these 5 steps?
Okay. 1, get help. Ask a professional and pay for their feedback. 2, get help.
Well, let me stop you. Where do you find a professional? Where?
You can look online, but it's usually very costly. But at the very, very, very end, you need to get help. But I'm going to give you a secret. This is a secret. Go to 5rr.com.
5rr.com.
FIVERR.com. There are all types of professionals there, and they do things for literally $5. And you might have to mess around and see, but there are people there who can help you. Mm-hmm. But you want to look at their profiles and see, and that can help you. It's everybody's not great, but it will help.
Okay.
Now, again, let's keep this in mind. Let me set the context. This is when you think you're finished. Because just because you think you're finished does not mean you're finished. But you don't need to go to the professional until you think that you have given your very best. That's where people make a mistake. You shouldn't have to have it edited professionally 5 and 6 times. But there are differences in editors. There are content editors, and then there are technical editors. So if you can talk to somebody like me or somebody who does context, I help people set the context so that I can say, okay, these are some things. I hear what you're saying. This is your story. So I'm setting the context. You can meet with me, and then we're done. I never have to see you again because you know what you're doing and you have the guidance. Now you follow these steps that we're doing in the podcast, right? And then after you follow these, then take it to a professional. In other words, you need help along the way, but you have to give your best, but you have to know what you're doing first. That's why this is important. Make sense?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And number 2 is?
Get help. Ask friends who are readers to give feedback on a chapter or 2. 3, listen to the feedback and don't ask someone who won't tell you the truth. I'll come back to that. 4,
okay.
Go back and see if you can incorporate the suggestions. 5, do not get discouraged. This is your story to tell.
Well, all right then. So those are the 5. When you think you are finished, these are the 5 things that you need to have on your mind. Now, the one you said you were going to come back to
is 3. Listen to the feedback and don't ask someone who won't tell you the truth. There are people in your life that are not readers. If they are not readers, do not ask them. And then there are people in your life who just love you, and they're not going to tell you it sucks. And if it sucks, you need to know because you don't want to waste your time. You need to ask somebody, and you can say to them, this may be an imposition. However, this is important to me, and I respect you and value you, and I need you to tell me the truth. If you like it, tell me. If you don't like it, tell me. If you think there are some things I should change, tell me, because I would rather you tell me and my feelings will not be hurt than me to spend a year doing it and then I find out later that it sucks.
Right. Okay. So when they give you suggestions, and this is number 4, is go back and see if you can incorporate the suggestions. Just from a legal standpoint, if you use their suggestions, do you have to include them in the credits or anything?
No. If you're asked, I'm calling you saying, Tony, can you please give me 30 minutes and read this over and tell me what you think? And then you're going to say, I don't understand it. Well, why don't you understand? You'll say, well, why did you say this? Or what happened here? Oh, great. Because in my head, I think I'm giving all the details. But if it doesn't make sense to you, it's not going to make sense to the readers. And it's not like that. You're just saying, I need your help. I'm not asking you for your professional advice about how to get started in radio unless I want to know, but you know how to do it, right? So I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to pay you, Tony. I just want to know, can you give me some advice or give me some input? And then you say, okay, or no, pay me. And then you can say, well, I'm not going to pay you, so never mind. I mean.
So number 5 is probably, to me, the biggest thing. And this is where a lot of people fall off. And you tell them, do not get discouraged.
Okay. I teach vision classes, and I do this strategic planning for a reason. A lot of times you have in your head what you're trying to do, but other people don't understand it or they don't get it. And if you tell somebody, I'm going to write a book, I'm going to write a book, I'm going to write a book, and they don't see it, then they don't believe you and they stop believing you. Or if they know you, they know you. So they're not probably interested in what you have to say, but somebody else may be. So you may go around and you know you don't have money for your book, or you don't know how to get it printed, or you don't know who to talk to. Then it's discouraging and you might not finish. That's why I started doing this, because I'm a teacher, not because I just wanted to publish books. I just wanted to reach more people and teach more people. And I said, well, I can't go everywhere. So if I can write a book, then maybe somebody can have it. I loved to read when I was little, and it helped me. So I said, well, maybe I can help somebody else. And then I was discouraged with my first few books. You know why? Because one of them was like this thick, because I just downloaded everything I wanted to say. And I included like 30 people that I really respected in the book, and I quoted them, and I talked about their life stories and everything. And then none of those 30 people told anybody about it. And I was like, shoot, if I had been in somebody's book, I would have told everybody. But my intention is to tell everybody, is to teach people. But that's not everybody's motive. And so what I learned, one of my biggest lessons was, I need to be straight with you. And I need to say, listen, I have something to share, and I'm asking you to be involved because I either would like you to support it, to sponsor it, to give me content, to promote it, to whatever it is, to host a party for it, to buy it, whatever it is, because it's hard, because it's your vision. It's not necessarily their vision. And once you get buy-in, then you can move forward. It's just like this podcast. When I called you, I mean, you remember, I won't take too long, but when you remember, my friend said, hey, Jolena, Tony put a Facebook post. I'm like, well, I'm not on Facebook this month. I'm taking a Facebook break. I need some space in my life. And then I wrote you. We talked on the phone, and this is where we are, because I said I don't want people to struggle like I struggled. Now, I've done 20 books. So I made all the mistakes. I made 12,000 mistakes. I don't want anybody else to make those 12,000 mistakes. I want them to make new mistakes. So if I can give you something in 2 hours and help you, you invest a little with me in 2 hours. I won't say my rates, because I guess that's not appropriate, but it's very cheap. I work with you for 2 hours, and you don't have to pay the $10,000 in mistakes that I made, because I do it in 2 hours for this amount of money. And then you can say, you know what? I thought I wanted to write a book, but it's too hard. I don't want to write a book. I just want to tell my story and I'm done. Well, then there you're done. Or, you know what? I didn't know it was going to be this much, but now I realize I don't want to self-publish. I want to get a publisher. Or guess what? I don't have to get a publisher. I can do it myself, because now I know why I want to do it. If I just want to reach little kids and I want to teach them to live better, and I want to teach adults to live better, guess what? I can just do it myself. But I don't know that if I'm afraid, if I don't know how technical stuff, or if I don't know what to say or what to do. And most of the time, Tony, that's what it is. All of these books are necessary because we don't know what to do. And if we just share our truth, then all of us will be better, and we'll all learn, and it'll be great.
So these here we are 3 episodes in, and maybe I should have asked you this in the first episode, but I'll ask you now. These things that we're talking about, does most of this, or all of this, or any of this apply to people who want to say they want to write fiction?
Absolutely. People are awakened in the middle of the night with a story to tell. And if you have to tell it, then tell it, and tell it all. And you have a creative mind, and make it juicy and make it good. Everybody's not interested in your story, though. But there are people, romance novels have been around for hundreds of centuries. They just look different. They used to be like this, and then they're like this, and then they have Fabio on them and whatever. And then we have all this stuff. There are millions of people who love to read around the world. And so you just got to find those people who are interested and be as creative as you can be. But I would just caution you, watch what you say, because whatever you put out, people receive that. And so I like light books. I like positive books, books to help people. But you can have fiction books that help people all the time, and they can be juicy and good. Just be appropriate to your audience.
Okay, so it goes back to knowing your target then.
Yes, if you are Desperate Housewives, right? Okay, there's a market for that.
Well, it sure is. yeah, there is. So, well, that is Lena Johnson, and she is publisher of Mission Possible Press, her own publishing company, and she's published like 20 books, 5 of them being her own. She's got some more coming, and this is her life, this is her calling. And our next episode is going to be Elements to Self-Publishing. The journey is not easy, though it can be rewarding, and it's part 1 and part 2. We're going to give them both to you in our next episode. So, Jolena, thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to our next episode. And again, I'm Tony Scott. Thank you for watching Talking 360.